Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest news. It has not confirmed yet. Manchester United current caretaker manager, they're going to currently have until the end of the season. But there has been a few names that have been mentioned in the press, that could potentially replace Jose Mourinho at Manchester United. I have been reading a few reports, so potentially I think we need a manager with great credentials. There has been quite a few listed in the press. I wouldn't want Diego Simeone or I wouldn't want Conte because potentially, I don't really want them as a Manchester United manager. I think they potentially have negativity to them two managers, so I wouldn't want Diego Simeone and Conte. But I think we need a manager that can develop young players, has the correct philosophy at the club that suits the strappings of the club, as I said, and also a manager that can have a positive environment with the players and the staff, and a manager that can potentially get the most out of these big money signings that we signed under Jose Mourinho, which was 11 players, and he spent over the £400 million, as I said. But as I've been updating you today on a regular basis, that Gary Neville has had a lot to say potentially. He said potentially Manchester United need a reset structure, and also Gary Neville said that considering Pochettino would be the suitable candidate, not because he's done a good job with Tottenham Hotspur, and he mentioned that he hasn't won out in terms of silverware as manager as Pochettino, and he has been managing, since 2009. Potentially, he said he's good with use of young players and all this, and he just thinks he would be a suitable candidate for Manchester United with Pochettino. I think he would be the favourite to come and take the job at Man United. I think he is onto one of the favourites to come in. He's fully committed to Spurs. He's focusing on Tottenham Hotspur as well, but he's aware of speculation, linking him with a move to Old Trafford, Pochettino. But yeah, that Tottenham team he's got, he's only spent £50 million on that Tottenham team since 2014, as we all know. But obviously, it's all built around Tottenham. The players. It's all built around Tottenham. Basically, the players that Pochettino didn't sign at Tottenham. So it's all built around Tottenham Hotspur of the players that Pochettino didn't. That's what it basically said. But Pochettino, well, Premier League proven. He's been in the Premier League 7 years, as we all know. He has got a 5-year deal with Tottenham. He's on £8 million per season, or something like that. He played 18 years in his playing career. He's been manager now since 2009 as Pochettino. But do you think he'd have that winning mentality, that confidence? Get the team playing, the way they should be. And potentially, Mourinho potentially wasn't getting back to during the course of the transfer window. As we all currently know, last summer he didn't get the signings that he wanted. The board potentially wasn't backing him. But yeah, I couldn't understand he signed a new contract back in January and until 2020. Did Jose Mourinho, as we all know. But potentially, hopefully, we can get a manager that can develop young players, as obviously Pochettino can, as he's proven it very, very well. As I said, he's only spent £50 million with Tottenham, don't forget, since 2014. But, when we had Alex Ferguson, potentially, he was a very, very good manager, 25 years of success. And, he developed a lot of young players as well. So he was well known for it as well. Obviously, then we got Moyes, didn't work out under him. Obviously, I didn't want him as manager anyway because obviously he never dealt with top players. He obviously had a lot of average players as well, but Ferguson recommended him because he was Scottish. Never worked out under Louis van Gaal, even though he had a good philosophy with Bayern Munich and all that. Van Gaal, it didn't work out under him, and it hasn't worked out under Jose Mourinho. But as I said, we need a manager with that winning mentality, a manager that can make us compete again and play the football we should be playing and get the team playing again. And dramatically, there's still people unhappy with Paul Pogba at Manchester United. He has been very, very inconsistent, as we all currently know. But obviously, with if this new manager comes in, whoever it will be, has an attacking approach about him, he's more like if the manager is expansive, then he could potentially get Romelu Lukaku better, Paul Pogba better, Nemanja Matic better, as I currently said. But obviously, I had concerns when Mourinho got Nemanja Matic in. I had, when we got Romelu Lukaku in, as I currently said. But I think we need a manager that can develop young players, who has the right philosophy for the club, who suits the trappings of the club, and a manager that can have a positive environment, with the players and staff. As I currently said, yeah, it had confirmed today. It had confirmed today that Mourinho had been sacked. He's been given 24 million payoff for the sacking. Obviously, it had been confirmed, and I was very, very shocked about it. The club confirmed a statement thanking his time and his tenure at the club, but now he is officially sacked by Manchester United. and he's had a payoff as Jose Mourinho. So Ed Woodward has sacked him today at the training complex, as we all know. Michael Carrick is going to be taking training for the next couple of days until we decide who the caretaker manager is. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer could be one of the favourites. As I currently said. But yeah, he got a 20 odd million pound payoff, did Jose Mourinho, as I currently said, but it wasn't looking likely, he was going to get sacked, according to his representative, George Mendes has made a statement saying he was happy, he was fully committed to the club, was Jose Mourinho, and he was happy at the club, and the club were happy with him. Mourinho said he wasn't adamant with it, as I said. But as I said, and it said yesterday, the board were backing Mourinho. I thought they'd give him a bit more time to see who we could get in the club in January, because reportedly he was going to get hundreds of millions of pounds to spend, as I currently said. But that's what it said. And it said reportedly they were keeping him for the immediate future. Reportedly what he said yesterday. So I am very, very shocked about this news that Mourinho's being sacked. There's quite a few potential names that have been mentioned that could take over the job as well, because Mourinho's destroying the team. You'll never forget the Wikipedia page. He won titles everywhere he's been. He has succeeded everywhere he's been. Jose Mourinho, he managed 144 games with Manchester United. Won 84 of them. Won the Europa League and won the League Cup in his first season as well. Got second place last season. Finished 19 points behind City last season, obviously, and got to the FA Cup final. But obviously, this is our worst start to a season since 1990, as we all know. And potentially we've conceded more goals this season, potentially, than the whole of last season. We're sitting 11 points behind top 4, and 19 points behind top, as I said. But as I said, the performances haven't been good enough this season. They've not been good enough. We haven't been performing, and we haven't been getting the results that we currently want as well. And the performances just have not been good this season. He was here 2.5 years, Mourinho. He did get sacked from Chelsea, back in 2015, as we all currently know, on the 17th of December 2015. Obviously, it just wasn't the right job for Jose Mourinho. As I said, we backed him for a long, long time. I'm surprised they didn't sack him, at Newcastle, because it was looking like he was going to get sacked then, but it didn't happen. But who could be potentially the next Manchester United manager? Who could potentially be the next Manchester United manager, as I said, and there's a few names that have been put out, as I said. And, when the players are not playing to the potential level, as I said, that is down to the manager, as I currently said. Mourinho's expectation was to get us competing, challenging for major honours, and he has not met them expectation levels, as I said. So this new manager needs to try and get the most out of these big signings, develop young players, have the right philosophy, understand the strappings of the club as well, and a manager that can come in, rebuild, get the team playing the way they should be, and get the team performing again, as I currently said. So yeah, confirm Mourinho has been sacked, but we're waiting for I don't know how long it's going to be till we're going to appoint a new caretaker manager to come in. As I said, Man United obviously are still seeking, the director of football, because we haven't got a director, as we all currently know. But as I said, Mourinho's style of play wasn't good enough. His managerial style at the club wasn't good enough. But you can't slate of what he's done in the past, Jose Mourinho. We know he didn't get on with the board here. He had disputes with the board. He had disputes with the top players, especially Paul Pogba. And Paul Pogba tweeted some out as well. I can't remember what he tweeted out. But yeah, Mourinho officially sacked as Man United manager. Pochettino could be one of the favourites to take over. And as I said, Mourinho was becoming a replica of what Arsene Wenger did, especially in his last stages of his managerial career. But obviously, after he did well with Arsenal. He was there 22 years, and Arsene Wenger was there 12 years. But I think after that, Arsenal becoming frustrated with him, and they didn't want him there. And it took Arsenal like 9 or 10 years to get him officially out of the club. As I said, and potentially, I had enough of Mourinho. I was backing him until a certain point. Potentially the board wasn't backing him during the course of summer. He wasn't getting his potential targets, that he wanted in, because the board had withdrew the current signings, and we didn't get his main priority targets. My opinion is one of Mourinho's worst signings was Nemanja Matic, but I thought at the time I was backing Jose Mourinho that Nemanja Matic could have been really, really good. I thought Mourinho's brilliance at the time would have brought turned Nemanja Matic really, really good. But players have been underperforming this season. As he clearly said, as Gary Neville said, Man United haven't got a midfielder that can pass a ball. Can they get the right man in, for the next 3 or 4 years? As he was discussing, he said there was incredible level of naivety in the team. So hopefully this new manager can turn things around at the club. We've got Mason Greenwood, who's doing very, very well. He will grow and develop. I think he will get into the first team. I don't know when, but he's doing very, very well for the reserves. So he's an upcoming future as well. But hopefully this new manager has a better attacking approach about him. He suits the chaplains of the club. He can sort the issues out of the club and get the most out of these big money signings as well. Get the most out of them. Develop young players as Alex Ferguson did, as Pochettino is well known for doing. Because Pochettino, obviously, as I said, with Pochettino, Tottenham is built around him because potentially he's only spent £50 million since 2014, and a lot of these players, are not Pochettino, players that he particularly. So these are the players of Tottenham's. A lot of them Pochettino hasn't bought because he's only spent £50 million since 2014, as we all know. But reportedly, Gary Neville says he's a suitable candidate. Gary Neville also said Man United need to reset the structure, as I currently said. Graham Souness had an opinion on it. He said basically Moyes should have been given a bit more time. He was discussing about the 25 years we had under Alex Ferguson, where we showed that attacking instinct, that flair, them great players we had. But reportedly, Ollie Solskjaer could potentially take over as a caretaker manager, reportedly. Also, Zinedine Zidane's been getting mentioned. Could he potentially take over as Manchester United manager? Zinedine Zidane has been mentioned as well. Never played in the Premier League, never managed in the Premier League, but I think he has got great managerial credentials. I think he was very, very good manager for Real Madrid. He's obviously managerless now, so he's available. He was very, very good as a player for Real Madrid. Very, very good as a player for Juventus as well. Was Zinedine Zidane. So potentially he has been in discussions with his representatives about coming to manager in English football. I think it would be good to come and see him. Good to see Zinedine Zidane come and experience these facilities, experiencing a new era, and sort this Manchester United team out, as I said. So he's been mentioned. Jardim's been mentioned, as I said, who obviously got sacked from Monaco. He's been mentioned as well. I think he's known for, growing. He's known for developing young players as well. Obviously, he had a good lot of, players, Jardim when he was there. He had the likes of Mbappe and they had Bakayoko, they had quite a lot of good young players, but Monaco sold a lot of their best players, was it last year, so as well. So Jardim's been mentioned, Laurent Blanc's been mentioned, as I said, has a good relationship with Fergie, ex-Manchester United player himself, when he was in his playing career, played for Barcelona as well. And obviously he's highly experienced in France, with Bordeaux, managed the French national team, and obviously, managed Paris Saint-Germain as well. I think he left management with Paris Saint-Germain in 2016 as well, did Laurent Blanc. So he's been potentially mentioned as well. Simeone, I wouldn't want him. Conte has been mentioned before. I wouldn't want him, even though he did win the Premier League with Chelsea, but he did get sacked from Chelsea. Did Conte, so he's been mentioned. So it could be potentially anyone, but I think it's going to either be Pochettino or Zinedine Zidane that are going to replace Jose Mourinho at Manchester United. But we need a manager with the right philosophy who can take this team forward, get this team playing the way they should be playing, and that's what I want to happen. As I said. But Mourinho's been discussing, potentially, as he was discussing, about lack of physicality, and he was frustrated with lack of transfer activity. He's also discussing about several injury-prone players, because we have had a lot of problems this season with injuries. We've had a lot of problems defensively, as we all currently know. I think the midfield needs addressing, and I think we need another attacker as well. But if we get a new manager in, and the brilliance of this new manager comes in, and gets, this team playing the football, the way they should be. As I said, we need a manager that can command us in that position, get us challenging again, as I currently said, for Subware and that. And just hopefully we get the right man in that can change everything around at Manchester United, get us back playing again. And get these players, playing for Manchester United again and playing the football, that they potentially should be playing, as I said. And we've also got to address that there's a lot of players, coming to the end of the deals at the club as well. So the board and the owners need to focus on that as well, about getting these new deals with Manchester United. But Mourinho didn't have a clue. His tactics were wrong, his team selections were wrong. He didn't know his best 11, as I said. So it has been confirmed. Mourinho has been officially sacked for Manchester United. Michael Carrick, as I said, is going to take training for the next couple of days. But there's a lot going on in the media discussing who will be the next Man United manager. Jurgen Klopp's had a say on it, basically saying, you can't take, from what Jose Mourinho's achieved and what he's won in the past. There's a lot of people, that have had a say on the situation, as I said. But for me, I'd either take Zinedine Zidane or Mauricio Pochettino. As I said, Man United were linked with Pochettino a couple of years ago. Well, Premier League proven, as I said. So, yeah, so potentially we need a manager who potentially has the correct philosophy, who knows about the attacking additions, get these players playing right for Manchester United to their potential levels, as I said. But yeah, we'll see what happens. So we need a new manager to come in, have the right philosophy, develop young players, get the most out of these the players Mourinho bought, as I said, and rebuild into the team. Maybe get rid of players. Say if we get this new manager in and Paul Pogba's still being inconsistent, then I say Manchester United should get rid of him. Or if you get like Lukaku, obviously was being really really poor this season. Obviously scored 27 goals in his first season. If he's continually being inconsistent under the new manager, get rid of him. And same, with Matic, as I said, but I want Matic out of the club anyway. I don't think he's good enough. I think he's too slow on the ball. And potentially, I think we're in search for another midfielder as well. But just see how these, players that Mourinho bought, progress under this new caretaker. And when we do get a manager, see how they progress under the manager, then he'll be able to suss out or not if they are good enough for Manchester United. As I said, I still think, potentially we do need some signings, even though a lot of money's being spent into that team. It's about £700-800 million that has been spent into that Manchester United team, as we all currently know. But Pogba put a tweet out. Gary Neville reacted to it, saying he needs to do one as well. Does Paul Pogba? So this is what Gary Neville said. But Neville says we need to reset the structure, and we need the right man with a winning mentality, who's got confidence, who has a positive environment with the players and the staff at the club and everything, and who can develop young players. And as I said, Pochettino, Gary Neville said he's not saying that because he hasn't done a good. He says, referring to that he hasn't done a good job at Tottenham, he says he would be the right candidate. He'd take Man United forward. His use of young players that he mentioned as well, and it's all built around Tottenham for Pochettino mainly because that he did the players because the majority of them players he didn't sign. He's only spent £50 million since 2014 at Tottenham. Don't forget, as I said. But Mourinho was saying a couple of weeks ago he's still confident we could get into the top four. As I said. But we'll have to see what happens now. Whoever this caretaker manager will be, we will find out, guys. As I said, could be anyone. Solskjaer's been mentioned. As I said, so we will find out. More things will update in the media about the whole situation, as I said. So I will be updating you. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. This is Gary Neville's perspective on the situation. He thinks he would be the suitable candidate with his use of young players, with his good relationship with young players, and what he's done at Tottenham and that. Gary Neville thinks he would be the suitable manager to come in at Manchester United to replace Jose Mourinho, as I said. But the results haven't been good enough this season, not scoring enough goals, conceding too many goals, poor results, poor performances, individual performances, very, very poor as well. So we will see what happens. So anyway, take care, God bless, guys, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. And also, Steve Bruce has been mentioned before I go. Mark Hughes has been mentioned. So there's a lot of names on the agenda, as I said. So, as I was saying, take care, God bless. I'll see you all again very, very soon, guys.